So now I'm going to go back to the backend because I want to change a few things. So if we go back right to the controller, we get the React, but I don't want them this way, because if you console log, let me just show you how they are right now and what I want to do. So let me open the console and let me first of all, I went to the database and like copied the same elements just by copying and then inserts and then like creating the same, Reacts again, and just changing like the Reacts for some of them. Okay, so if I refresh right now, I'm gonna have many Reacts, which is like more suited to understand what we're doing. So let me refresh and let me see right here. Okay, so this is what we get. So what we get in the React, we just get an array that has all the Reacts from the database, which is just objects. Okay, but I don't want it this way. So the first thing that I want to do is this not going to be an array. This is going to be an object of arrays. So I'm going to have an object, and inside this I'm going to have an array for likes. If it exists, like if there is a like, then at least one, then it's going to be an array of like, and it's going to be having all the objects of that like. And then we can have another array inside that object, which is going to be like for love, and it's going to have all the objects of love. So that means I'm going to just have arrays. So this, for example, this is going to be like one array inside that object, but it doesn't have anything different. It's going to be like the same, like sad, and you see the other array is going to have the same. So this might not make sense for you, but when we do it, it's going to be actually very simple. Okay. So to achieve what we want, we're going to use one of the most common functions that we use with arrays, which is the reduce function. Okay, I'm going to leave this link for you if you want to learn about them like in details and everything about them, a lot of examples and explained in very good way. But I'm going to explain them also with a practical example, which is our example. I'm going to explain what we need to do, what we pass, all the arguments and all the other stuff. Don't worry about it, we're gonna do that. And if you want to learn them, in more details, more than me, because this actually knows more than me. I don't know everything. Okay, if someone said they know everything about anything, then just don't believe them. Okay, so let's go back to our example. Let me maximize this and let's start working. Okay, so right here we can create a new variable. Let's call it new React. Okay, and we can go to the React array. This is how you use reduce React, and then the array, and then you use reduce. Okay, and reduce takes a function. You can pass like an arrow function like this. Okay, or you can just a regular function like right here, and then simply like that. Okay, the most important one, I prefer the arrow function, so I'm going to use them. Okay, and then right here it takes up to 4 arguments. Okay, so the first argument is going to be the previous value, and the previous value by default it's going to be the first element of that array. So for example, let's pretend this is our array. Okay, and it has all these objects. So the first element here is this one, like, so the first element is going to be that. So let's call it, for example, group. Okay, so the value, if we console log, the value of group is going to be the first one of the array, depending on what post we are at. Okay, so and then the second value, or second argument, sorry, it's the most important one, which is like represents every single index of the array. It's not the index, but actually, how do I say it? Like the value of every iteration, because reduce is also mapped at the same time. So let's call it React, because it represents every single React or every single object of that array. So for example, if I went and console log the React right here, it's gonna console log all the objects inside that array, every single one of them. Okay, and that's the important thing. So, and you're gonna see we're gonna explain everything, and we're gonna console log every single one of them, don't worry. So the third argument, sorry, and the third argument is going to be the index, and the fourth is the array. We're not going to work with them, so let me just leave these two and then save. Okay, there is one thing right here, which is right here you can add like the initial value of this array right here. Okay, just click here so I don't cover the others. So right here you can define like what this new React is going to be in the beginning. You can define it to be an empty object, array, an empty string. Show you, for example, let me have it like an object. Okay, and save. And now let me minimize this and go back right here. Let me open the console. Okay, so we've console logged many things before. So let me go right here and console log the new React. Okay, let's see what value they have right now. We didn't do any calculation, nothing, simply nothing. So let me refresh and see what I get. Okay. So all I see right now is just empty objects, because we define it to be in the initial values to be an empty object. Okay, so you can change this like an array, and now it's going to be just array. Let me refresh and go back right here. You can define it whatever you want, like anything up to you. Okay, as you see on an array, you can empty string, I'm just like showing you so you can understand what I'm doing. Okay, now also refresh, and just gonna be an empty string. Nothing is gonna show. Okay, these are all empty strings. Okay, like that. So this is our first. For us, it's gonna be an object. Okay, an empty object. And right here, let me console like the group and also the React so you understand which value actually they take. So, and to do that, let me remove this initial value, because if you add the initial value, you need to return, okay? So because it's going to be an empty object, and then you push through it the elements you want, okay? So now just for now, so you can console log the group. And also I want to go right here and remove this like, because I want to just only have one array, okay? Too many arrays, yeah, that might throw you off, okay? So we have one array, and let me open the console, and as you see, after refreshing, this is what's happened. Let me refresh again, and as you see, it gives us the other one an undefined because there is nothing, and the group one for this array that is filled, which is this one for this post, has one, which is the set, which is the first React. And if you go back to the database and refresh right here, it's going to be the first one, okay? So that means it show you the first one. Now let me console log the React and see what values it takes. This is a bit annoying, you know, to show you everything. You may know this, but I gotta do it so all people understand, okay? So now I refresh, and you're gonna see all the values or all the objects inside that array. So this array, it's like map, it's like a lot of functions together. That's where reduce is very cool, okay? So let's go back right here. Let's things back to where it was. Okay, like that. Let me save, and right here, let's do our thing. So let me scroll a bit right here. Okay, so the whole purpose of this is just to get like and group all the Reacts together, likes together, haha together, all the like together, okay? And to group something, you need like a value or a property that you want to group by, which is going to be the React. So let's define a key, which is going to be simply the React, okay, from the objects that we have, okay, which is going to be an instance of all the objects, and then use the React property, which is, if you go back right here and see, it's going to be like this ones, which is the actual string of Reacts, okay? You can do this way or the other way, like that, okay? Reacts. Both ways works fine, okay? So it's up to you. And then, like, if you want to make sure that everything is alright, you can console log the key, okay? Let me remove this initial value, okay? That's because it's always going to reset the return to nothing, okay? And you're not going to see anything. So let me open the console, and let me refresh right here. Okay, and as you see right here, these are all the values from that. So we're gonna use that, okay, and create an array of every one of them, okay? And it's not gonna be in a replicate. So what I'm gonna do right here, let me return this, remove right here, we're gonna check. I'm gonna take the first, you know, the previous value, and we're gonna say for the key, okay, which is gonna be the React. That means, like, for example, it's gonna be like said something, haha, if it doesn't exist, one of them, so the key doesn't exist, this value doesn't exist, so we're not gonna have it, okay? So we're simply gonna go to the group key, okay, and we're gonna make it an empty array, okay? Simple like that. So what I'm trying to do right here, like, for example, we're not gonna have all of them. Some React don't exist. Like, for example, we're gonna have like sad, depending on the post, but we don't have like, so we're just gonna have it as an empty array. It doesn't exist. And you can do this if in a better way, like just call the group and then key, and then it's gonna equal the group key. That's if it does exist. If it doesn't, this is like a simple, you know, you do its variables. If it doesn't exist, then you fall to this value, which is an empty array, okay? So that was the first thing. So now simply I'm gonna take every single one of them, okay? So this one is gonna be like for sad, for example, okay? And then simply all I'm gonna do is just push the React, okay, and then return the group, okay, and that's gonna return, sorry, like that, okay, and that's gonna return us, go to this this object, right, which is gonna be empty in the beginning, and then this is also wrong, group. So now what it's gonna do is gonna create like an array. The name of it is gonna be the key of the React. If it does exist, if not, it's just gonna be an empty array. So for example, like this one is gonna be like an array like, and then it's gonna push all the Reacts that are the same. So now if I go right here and console log the new Reacts like that, and let me open the console and let me refresh, and you're gonna see. Okay, all you're gonna see right here, I'm gonna go up right here, I'm gonna show you. So this is, we're gonna have an object, as I told you, we're gonna have arrays, and if name of the array or the property or the key, whatever you call it, is gonna be like the name of the React. So set, and all of the object that share the same, you know, property, which is React, is going to be the same set, is going to be there. For haha, it's going to be an array that's had all the haha objects, okay? And the same for adult love, okay, and the rest. If it doesn't exist, it's just going to be an empty array, and it's just not going to be there, okay? So that's all of it. So that's what's quite easy, and you understand what we're doing. But this is like just the first step. The second step, I want to have like an object that's all it has. It's just like, for example, said, okay, and it's going to give you like how many, and then like haha, and then how many of them, like love, and then how many of them, like if it doesn't exist, then it's going to be 0. So that's all I'm trying to do, right? So right here, let me remove that, and let me create a new array. Let's call it like final array, okay? And right here, this is going to be an array, and it's going to have many objects. So the first object is going to have the property React, which is going to be like, okay, and then also it's going to have the count, okay? This count, you know, you could have done this directly from the database, but it's actually very, very simple. You can search by the post and then the React, and you could have done this, but I prefer this because you're going to learn a lot, you know, how to work, you know, with arrays, and that's why I like it better, okay? And this is going to be going to the new React, and then we're going to check if the property like exists. Then we're going to just simply get the new React dot like dot length, okay? If it doesn't exist, that means it's 0, okay? That's all of it, okay? It's actually pretty simple. You go to the array, which is if you go back right here, and then check, this is an array, like check how many inside it, okay? Like for example, there are 3 objects, okay? That means the counts of it. So you can do it the way you want. Now let me check that, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me see. So this is gonna be, let me change them. So this is gonna be love. This is gonna be haha, okay, this is gonna be, you know, I press alt, I keep pressing alt, and then I keep, you know, selecting what I want to change, and it's gonna change them all, okay? So this is gonna be said, okay, this is gonna be wow, and then last one is gonna be angry. I hope I didn't forget anyone. That's probably can happen easily with me, okay? So, and we're gonna just return the final array. So right here, let me return the final array like that, okay? So, you know what? Let's call it React, actually, exactly. Okay, that's gonna create a problem. So let me call this React array, and this is gonna be from the React array. And then I'm gonna take this React, and this is the one that I'm gonna return. I hope I didn't change something there, okay? So I feel like everything is fine. So now if you go back to the post exactly, and let me console log now the new data that we're gonna get from the backend. So let me console log the React. Come on, at least give me the continuation. Okay, so React, and now let me open the console. Let me maximize. We're gonna see the problem there. So let me refresh. We actually get it directly, okay? So as you see right now, if I open any one of them, you're gonna see. So depending on the post, one of them is gonna have, as you see, you can have the Reacts, any name of them, and then you're gonna see the count. One of them is gonna be, you know, filled, but I actually don't know which one. Just to make sure we have a lot of posts right here, okay? Let me just go back to the profile. Okay, it's probably the first one, so let me go to the first one. Okay, and as you see right here, we have them. As you see, we have love, we have 3 for haha, we have 6, and for sad 2, and for the others it's gonna be 0, okay? So that's very good. So something I forgot to say, which is just order the objects by the counts, okay? So the most count to the less one. Okay, so you can do this in the controllers, you can do this in the front end also, but I prefer this and data ready, okay? So we can go to the React and then use the source function, which is JavaScript function. You can use E and B, so that's the initial value, and then this is going to be the previous and then the next one, okay? So it's going to be the first and the second, and you can do just simply go right here. This is going to be another function, and then return like b.count, which is the value that you want to order by, then minus e.count simply. And if you want to order it the other way, so this is going to be from the most to the less. If you want to go next to the reverse order, then you can use e right here and b right here, okay? Or you just go e.count. That's it, that's what I said. What am I saying, okay? So you can go back right here and then refresh and see. Okay, and as you see right now, let me just search for it. First one. Okay, as you see, it's gonna be like 6, 3, 2, and then the next. And if you don't want to do it alone, you can just go right here and add dot and then sort, and you can do it there also. It's up to you, okay? So now everything is prepared. So maybe now we can show the Reacts exactly in the post. Okay, so let's do that. Now go back to the post component, to the index, okay, and then let me have the post right here so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so right here we had the button. So before that we created those divs, which is the React count images. If you don't know where you are, just search for this name, okay, and we have this one. So right here we're gonna show the Reacts. So I can go right here, okay, and check if we have Reacts. Then simply I'm gonna go through all the Reacts and then map through them and get the React. And then right here I'm gonna return an image, okay, and the source of it is just gonna be up 3 times, and then React folder that has all the images, and it's gonna be called by the React and then .svg, because if you remember, you see all the images right now because I didn't slice. So let me just go right here and let me open the console. So as you see right here, you go inside and select the object, which is the React, and then select the React inside to get the name, okay. And also I'm not gonna show everything, okay, that's not the way we want it because some of them are not gonna be existing, okay. So only you're gonna show the first one. So right here, first of all, or you can do something like that, React.map before showing this. Maybe we can do like a better way, okay. So you can go and check if the React.count is more than 0, okay, then you're gonna show this. Okay, and that's not gonna show the other ones, okay, if they are 0. But also I don't want to, even if they are more, I don't want to show all of them. I only want to show like the first 3. So you can go before mapping. I've done this before, so just slice from 0 to 3, okay, like that, and that's always gonna show only the first 3. And also, okay, so after that, let's not waste any time. So right here we're gonna have the count, so how much or how many Reacts there. So you can send that also from the backend. You can go right here and just call this total. And the total is going to be just the Reacts array, this one dot length, okay, like that, which is this one right here. Okay, we get all the objects, so that means you can just simply get the length of it and simply go back to the index right here. Let me go to the top and let me create a new state. Let's call this total, and then right here set total, okay, and the beginning is going to be 0, okay, and then we can go down right there. Where is this, where we have the numbers, okay, right here. We're gonna check if the total exists. So if there is any total, or you can just go, if it's more than 0, then it's simply gonna show it like that. So let me save, and now let me refresh right here. Okay, and it doesn't show. I'll just go up top right here. So if it's more than 0, then we show it. Okay, so my bad. Set total and the response to total, I forgot that. Okay, like that. So as you see now we have 11, and it's only gonna show you like the first 3, okay. So that's all of it for now. I feel like we've done everything. So now I want to like actually work on, like when I click something right here, I want to see the changes right here, okay. That's gonna affect like the length. For example, if like these ones were equal, and if I click one of them like love, which is now it's more than this one, it's gonna change the order, so it goes to the left. So that's kind of things like are very, very important and actually very cool to do. So let's go to the next episode and see what we're gonna do.